Hello guys, welcome to another Substance Designer tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to make this sand material here, and it's a rather simple graph. So make sure you get this sample down in the description on my Gumroad, and if you want to get the full sand material pack, you can also get it on my Gumroad, but the sample is free, so feel free to download that. Anyways, let's get right into the video. So we first want to get our base shape, so these lines you see basically. And how we do that is we use a Gaussian pattern and we bump out the X amount and rotate it a little bit, as you can see. We invert the grayscale, and after that we do a directional warp with also the Gaussian pattern, but this more represents the actual Gaussian pattern, and we blur it a lot and then put that as intensity input. After that we do a curve, so we get rid of some of these lines and get a much simpler mask. We do auto levels to bring out white and black values, and we do a histogram range. So basically where there is black, we get a little bit of gray, and where is white, it gets a little bit toned down to grayish. We do a little directional warp just to warp it slightly, nothing special. And this safe transform is just for testing. If you want to have multiple tiles of this and whatnot, this is personal preference. After that, I warp the material with the Perlin noise. And the Perlin noise is really scaled up. And I do it again, but with a less scaled up version of the Perlin noise. After that, I add detail here, as you can see. And how I do it is I brought out a grunge map too, did a histogram scan to get only the white values, and blurred it. After the blur, I blended it with the plasma to get all these weird looking shapes. I did a directional warp with Clouds 2 and Blur HQ, as you can see. Gets a nice pattern going on here, and then blur it a little bit, and then we blend it into the original mask with a opacity mask actually. And the opacity mask is just plasma into a blur, and I did a little bit of levels to get those white values out, and another blur, and that is basically it. So this is pretty much a lot of details, so you can get a little bit of waves and whatnot. After that, I added the grunginess to our mask. Basically, as you can see, I didn't want it to be that soft, so I added the fractal sun base, as you can see here. After that, I did a slope blur, but the slope blur is really subtle. Maybe you can even remove it, but have a fun, make fun around with it, so you test it out basically. After that, I did a bit of a blur and into the blend with copy, so I can control the amount of blur more or less. Also a subtle thing, but I think it helped with the Albedo a lot. And we are done for the normal maps and normal height and ambient occlusion, but we are going into the Albedo one. So what I do for Albedo, I do ambient occlusion into the gradient map and the original noise into the gradient map. These are very simple gradient maps, as you can see. And I blend them in with the grunge map as an opacity mask, so I get some sort of variation here. And then I did black and white spots with a really grunge map, so I wanted a lot of I wanted to be really noisy here, and as you can see it is. And then blended it in with the overlay, and as you can see, this is looking a bit more saturated. After that, I just wanted to blur down the colors a little bit, so I blended it in with the Blur HQ color, and so I can control how blurry the color is and whatnot, as you can see. But I left it out to be some small value. After that, that is basically our Albedo map. And I did a grayscale conversion into levels for a roughness map, but also what I did is blend with get slope as you can see here. It's a very nice node to get these natural shapes going. And basically I subtracted them, and as you can see here, you can actually see the lines, natural lines, and it makes the material look way better. And after that we just plugged it into the roughness, and that's pretty much it. This was a really short tutorial. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more, and have a wonderful day. See ya.